and welcome to Quarterfinals 2 of AGT Time. Cody Patterson here
Along with Jay Bach. We are halfway through the quarterfinals. We got semis ahead of us and finals ahead of us, and then that's going to put a bow on the season. But there's still plenty of left. Plenty of excitement left ahead of us.
Yeah, this was a an interesting week of quarterfinals. We didn't have Simon again this week. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Um, no real news this week other than Simon not being there, but nothing new came out. So, if you want to reach out to us, we're going to talk about quarterfinals 2 here in just a moment. But if you want to reach out to us, you can reach us on Twitter, AGT Time. Jay and I are both on there individually. I'm on there at Cody L. Patterson. Jay's on there at One Man Bander. We're on the Facebook at AGTcast. And yeah, we'd love for you to send us an email, agtcast@gmail.com. We also love some rates and reviews. We're on iTunes, Spotify. We're on all the platforms that you want to get your streaming podcasts. Last week we read a review from Gamer Girl Happy Time, who's with Cheer Twitter, and we were happy to get that review. So if you leave us a review, we'll read it on the air, and we'll give you the golden buzzer. How about that, Jay?
I love it. Gamer girl, happy time. We love you right back. So 5 stars for you, and we are. Yeah, I guess Simon Cowell still recovering from his injured back. So this week we got to welcome Keenan Thompson as our guest judge. Do you suspect that we're going to have 2 more guest judges through quarterfinals? Do you think we're going to have guest judges clear through the end of the season? What do you think is going to happen here?
I think we're going to have a guest judge at least one more week. I think it's really a week-to-week thing. Next week would be week 3. I would think that he's on the mend, on the recovery. So, they may hold him out until semifinals. We miss him. We talk about Simon a lot. We do miss him. It's nice having these guest judges have been pretty good. Kelly Clarkson was really good. I enjoyed her. Keenan Thompson was all right. He's very funny. Loved him on Saturday Night Live. He's a great comedian.
Yes.
I thought he did an okay job this week. I think we want Simon back. At the same time, when he does come back, we'll probably complain about him when he does come back. So,
Well, I guess it's worth saying. Sometimes all we do, I feel like all we do is complain. We find nitpicky things to mention about these acts, and this isn't supposed to be a gripe fest. This is supposed to be, really sharing our appreciation. But sometimes you share your appreciation through talking about what you don't like as well. So, if you want to only hear us say it was amazing, it was great, tune into a different podcast. But on the other hand, we really do love all these acts. We do love the show. That's why we invest in doing this every week, and it's a part of our lives that we love to do this. So I guess with that, do reach out if you have questions, comments, if you have something funny to say, or responses. Let's make a community out of this.
yeah, I've been live tweeting on the AGT Time account almost all season, and it's been a lot of fun. Did it this past again? Did it this week during live shows and the results. So if you see me tweeting on there, hit us up, ask us questions, comments. If you don't like what we're saying, that's fine too. I did a couple of few Twitter polls this week, Jay. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. I don't remember what they were.
Yeah, I'll pull those up real quick. It was a lot of fun. I love doing polls. I think they're a lot of fun. So the first one I did basically just said, pick one, Puppy Pals or Pork Chop Review.
Oh, okay. I'm going to tell you what I think.
Jay? Yeah, tell me what you think.
Okay, so the strength of the Pork Chop Review is that it really is unique. We don't see pigs do this much. You can see a dog act do this time and time again. But the thing that Puppy Pals has, that Alexis Brownlee has, is she's so darn cute. Way cuter than the pig handlers. So boy, um, you know what? I've seen dogs do all the tricks that Alexis's dogs have done. I have not seen pigs do the tricks that the pork chop review has done. So I'm going to go with the pork chop review.
Okay. Well, of the 15 votes that voted for that,
America has voted.
America has voted. Of the 15 votes that came through, 13% agreed with you.
Oh, only.
Yes.
Is that 2 of the 15?
I do not know the
3 of the
math on that,
15?
Jay. Sorry. I do not know the math on that.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if this. No, I don't think this tells me. Somebody out there that can do math, let us know.
All right. That's
Okay.
one for my brother. I know he's
Yeah.
listening.
Okay. The other one I did was Denelia versus Roberta. Pick one.
Danelia or Roberta? Ooh. Okay. So Roberta was last week. She's got that alto voice. Danelia, she's the one that was on this week. Kazakhstan singer. Let's go with. Boy, I know commenters really high on Danelia. I think I like Roberta a smidgen better.
Okay. So of the 20 votes that came through, 15% agreed with you.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to get booed off the podcast.
Hey, that's why we're here, Jay. We each have our own, we all have opinions on this, and we have our favorites. And I think
Okay.
that's one thing I love about this show is we have all these different kinds of acts, and we have all different kinds of opinions.
Yeah, and it really is subjective. There is
Yes.
no objective one is better than the other.
Yep.
So that's good. I want to tell you, I got out my calculator here. I took 15 times 0.13, and I got 1.95, which I think would be 2 votes for the pork chop review.
Okay. There you go.
So
That's why we
there
bring
you
the
go.
math teacher in.
I'm not a math. Well,
Uh, that's why I bring this. Yeah.
all right. Okay. Very
So
good.
we have two more to talk about here, real quick, Jay.
Okay.
So the last one I did, the second to last one I did, the third one, no, the third one I did, was rate the guest judges: Eric, Kelly, and Keenan.
Ooh. Okay. So, boy, how many different permutations of this are there? You got like Eric Keenan Kelly, Eric Kellen Keenan, and
Well,
then
okay, I guess I just said you pick one. It's not really rating.
okay.
It's just which is your favorite.
Oh, okay. Okay. Just pick
Yes,
one
just pick
as my
one. Which
favorite.
one? Yes.
Um, I felt like Keenan was pretty restrained, pretty subdued as a guest judge. Kelly, I don't think gave a lot of great comments, although she looked comfortable. Like I could see her filling that role again. Eric, we got more of, and I think I agreed with him uh, pretty much most of the time. So I'm going to go Eric as my number one.
Okay, so we had 21 votes come in, and Keenan is currently in third place at 14%.
Okay.
And then Eric and Kelly are tied at 42.9%.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of people like Eric and Kelly, and I think that's good. I agree with you. I think in the auditions, Eric had a little more time to kind of warm up and get
Mm-hmm.
used to the judging, whereas in the live shows, they're kind of just thrown into it, and they have basically an hour and a half to, you know, get used to judging. I know Kelly's
Yeah.
done it before; she's very familiar with judging, but this is a little bit different than the show she's done.
Keenan's probably spent more time on live TV than any of them.
Agreed with that. I will completely agree with that. Yes.
So, there's something to be said for 17 years of SNL.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, and then, so real quick, the last one I did is: are we going to see Simon Tuesday night for the live show? So your options are: it's a yes for me, or it's a no for me.
oh, okay. Tuesday night for the live show because I I think that they're going to keep the same rhythm of a guest judge through quarterfinals. I'm going to say no.
It's a no for you.
It's a no from me.
Okay. So of the 6 votes, 100% of the people agree with you.
Oh,
It's
look
a
at that.
no for me. Yeah. So nobody else thinks we're going to see Simon either.
Okay. I've never broken my back, but it sounds really serious.
Yeah. So when I was a teenager, my dad was mowing and using a riding mower, and we lived next to a creek. We're in a subdivision, but there's kind of a creek that was there, and
Hmm.
he mowed a little bit too close to that creek and fell in, and
Oh my.
the mower fell on him, and he was in the hospital for a couple of days, and he had to wear a corset for about 6 weeks and lost about a quarter inch off his height. So
Oh, geez,
yeah, it was a pretty serious thing.
man. So you said he was laid up for 6 weeks?
He wasn't really laid up. I mean, he was laid up for a couple of weeks, but he did have to wear a corset for several weeks.
Okay.
Um, and he that's I mean he eventually was able to go back to work after a couple of weeks. Um, but he did fully recover from it.
Yeah. Oh, man. No, that just sounds awful. Like the few times that I've like thrown my back out or, had even just a twinge or something, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not, that- it's not something to be messed with. Like your spine is precious,
Yes.
precious part of your body. So,
Yep. Yep.
boy, yeah. Well, really wishing him all the best. Take all the time you need to get better. The show goes on, I think, really just fine without him. He's not obligatory to the show working.
Yes, we do want to see him on the show, but you're right. The show is a little bit bigger than Simon Cowell.
Yep, yep. Good. All right. Are you ready to talk about some acts tonight?
Let's talk about some acts. We've already talked about a couple of them already in our Twitter poll, but let's go through them and talk about them in a little more depth.
All right. First act of the night, young 14-year-old Kelvin Dukes. He's our 14-year-old soul R&B singer. This time he's going to sing Valerie by Amy Winehouse. Are you familiar with the song Valerie?
I am not. I'm not familiar with the Amy Winehouse catalog very much.
Okay. She's one of the 27 Club, right?
I don't know what that means.
Oh.
Oh, yes, yes, I do know what that means. Where the famous celebrities passed away at the age of 27. Is
Yes. Yep.
that correct? Okay, I believe
Yep.
so. Yes.
Okay. So Amy Winehouse singing Valerie. He's got what appears to be a real band with him. They are step touching behind him. I was going to say dancing, but not really dancing. They had a trumpet and a trombone. Again, I'm not sure if they were playing or just pretending to play, but there was a band there, and they were along with him on his little stage in the backlots there. I enjoyed this. I didn't. uh, uh, This isn't a number one hit kind of song. It's not one that I was familiar with before Kelvin sang it, but I enjoyed it. I don't know that I enjoyed it more than something that I would have recognized. I'd rather see him kind of go to uh, the older catalog of the classic, soul R&B tunes. But what did you think of Kelvin?
I I thought it was okay. I did like the band. He was outdoors. He was on this stage. He had some backup singers. He was wearing kind of a what 50. He had the jeans rolled up.
Yep.
He was very much in the 50s. Very much what like was it Simon and Maria last week?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they kind of have these kids doing the 50s, genre atmosphere type thing. Yeah, I would like to have seen him do more of a, that era song. Maybe something from Greece. That would have been a lot of fun. But I, I didn't grab onto this song. I wasn't familiar with this song. But it was fun to watch him with a full band. It was okay. It wasn't great.
Yeah. I didn't think it really slapped. Is the word of the summer, right?
Yeah.
The song didn't really slap, but it was good. Howie said, I can't wipe the smile off my face. You have a good career ahead of you. Heidi said, one of my favorites this season. You're adorable. This showcased your energy and your voice. Sophia said, you are amazing. You're like a born performer and you should always be on a stage. And Keenan said, your smile and energy are infectious. You're a great singer. So pretty high praises from the judges coming out of the gate. He's one of these that feels like a middle of the pack kind of singer. I don't expect him to win the season, but he could do well enough each episode that he's on. He's not going to mess it up. So he's good enough, I think.
Yeah, you're right. He is kind of middle of the pack. I don't think he's a top tier act. He's all right. I didn't expect him to go through. Just didn't expect a whole lot because of this performance. I think they chose the wrong song for him, or he chose the wrong song. Something happened where the wrong song was chosen, and I think that really hurt him.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't a great song for him, um, but boy, I do enjoy seeing him perform. He's got a really great a really great soul on
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
So
Real quick, Jay, you bring up the 27 Club. How many people can you name on the 27 Club?
uh, not
Or
many.
have you already looked this up?
I haven't just this week at all, but I'm familiar with a few. Was it Lenny Kravitz? Uh,
Let's see. Is Lenny Kravitz? I think Lenny Kravitz is still alive, isn't he?
oh, who am I thinking of? See, this is a bad game for me.
Are you thinking of Jimi Hendrix?
Jimi Hendrix is the one.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. So
yeah.
Jimi Hendrix is on the list.
Oh, that's
Janis
embarrassing.
Janis Joplin
Janis
is on the
Joplin. Yep.
list. Yep. Jim Morrison
Uh-huh.
is on that list. Um, let's see who else. I'm trying to find the big names. I mean, there's a lot of people on this list. Kurt Cobain is on that
Uh-huh.
list.
Yep. Yep.
Uh-huh. Yep. Let's see. I'm still going down through. Here's a lot of people on this list. Trying to find the big names here. Of course, yep, there's Amy Winehouse. Um, wow, a lot of people I don't recognize. That's probably those are probably the biggest ones. That's what the top five biggest names.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
feels like it. Yeah, and I remember Kurt Cobain kind of being like, from my lifetime or from, more of my
Yes.
formative years, as, like, oh, that actually like affects some people around me. Whereas, Hendrix and well, not Winehouse, but Janis Joplin, like they were all before my time, and
Yeah.
you know, they're just a historical figure to me. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah. So that is Kelvin Dukes. Thanks for the quiz and the opportunity to embarrass myself.
How'd you like his package going through like the Jurassic Park and the other backlot scenes type things?
It was cute. I don't really tune in for the packages, for the backstories. I watch them, but I don't do much for making uh, a note of them or really digging into those video
Okay.
packages.
Yeah, I thought this one was fun. I mean, it's just him, as a kid getting to go through the famous scenes of or famous stage scenes of movies, Back to the Future and Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones. I thought it was kind of fun.
Yeah, and it would definitely be fun to sort of be in his shoes. And you and I again are of an age where like Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, like we kind of grew up with those movies a little bit more.
Yeah.
But has he ever seen them? I don't know that he has. Like in his 14 years of life, what's he had an opportunity to really see?
I would say he's probably seen the modern Jurassic Parks. He
Yeah,
probably hasn't seen OG Jurassic. He may have seen OG Jurassic Park.
may have in
Yeah.
preparation for the current day ones.
Yeah. His
But
his parents may have his parents may have introduced it to him.
what about Back to the Future?
I would say the likelihood of Back to the Future is lower than Jurassic Park,
Right. Yeah.
and maybe the same for Indiana Jones.
Yep. Yep. Uh, uh, yeah, I agree. I don't imagine that he has that much familiarity with these, but man, whether you were familiar or not, like what a fun adventure to get to see these
Yes.
things kind of up close and personal,
Yeah. Absolutely.
uh, and on his own, sort of a solo thing. So,
Yep. Yep.
all right, ready to talk about The Shape?
The Shape. Yes.
Okay, The Shape. This is a group of, it looks like just graduated boys. When school shut down during the pandemic, they didn't have a chance to go to prom or graduation, and they missed out on all those senior things. This is their video package. and they also couldn't practice their dancing. So they, um, whatever, finagled it. They figured it out, and they entered online for their chance to perform for America's Got Talent. And now, after zero introduction this season, here they are, the shape,
Yes, we have literally seen them for what, 5 seconds in 10
if even.
episodes.
Yeah.
If yeah, in 10 episodes.
Um, yeah, so this is the shape. They are, like I said, a high school dance crew. I love their costuming. So they've got like bowler hats and maroon cardigans and skinny black ties, and their face masks have handlebar mustaches on them. Like this is like I wear cardigans regularly when I am in my living my life in the winter time anyhow, at least. So uh so I love seeing some cardigans on the screen. They were dancing to Fireball by Pitbull. They there's a couple other songs that I didn't get written down in their montage here. They were performing on a rooftop in downtown LA. So again, this is another pre-recorded um performance. um Man, I said I love their costuming. That's about all the good that I really have to say about their act. What did you think of the shape?
Yeah, I think it's hard to get into an act in the live shows when we haven't really been introduced to them much in the other episodes. We've seen a lot of these other acts, two or three times we've seen them, and we've not seen them at all. And I don't understand. I'm not saying they're not good, but I don't understand how production cannot show us these acts knowing that they're going to be in the live show, and to not give us hardly any information on them. So it's hard to get up and to get to know these guys and to understand what it is we're getting ready to watch. So it was difficult to watch, for one thing, because it's just um, we didn't know anything about them. And then once I was watching them, I didn't feel like they did anything we haven't seen before.
Yes,
It
yes.
it felt like it was a group of high school kids dancing at a high school.
I like to point out when I see something that is unique that I haven't seen before, or
Yeah.
is at least notable, particularly athletic, whatever. I didn't write anything down. These guys danced, and they had
Yes.
really fantastic costumes on.
Yes.
So Heidi said, "Masterclass in precision and timing. Charlie Chaplin would have been proud." Sophia said, "You got me from the beginning. I love it, and you had to work to prepare it." Keenan said, "It was amazing. A lot of precision. It shows lots of focus and dedication." Howie said, "I didn't think you had precision, and I don't think you rose to a different level." So I'm kind of agreeing with Howie on this one. It was not fantastic.
Yeah. And Howie will point out several times about precision, how other acts were precise. And he felt like he kept going back to that well, basically poking at these guys about how precise they were not.
Yeah, if you're trying to find words to complement a dance act, like precision is one that comes to mind, but
Yes.
sometimes I think they just say it out of like I have to say words,
Yes.
and not out of like actually feeling like it's precision.
Right.
Yeah,
Did
I drafted this group to be in my side of the draft. I was really optimistic, but this was not a winning act.
No, no, it was like I say, the costumes were great. The kids looked great. I loved the canes they were using, um, but I don't understand why they were wearing their masks when they were performing. That seemed weird. Um,
Because it's
and
2020.
I guess, and then they didn't wear their masks during the results show, which, I mean, we'll get to in a little while, but
Yeah.
that was weird. Um, I mean, again, they were all right. Were they one of the top dance crews? No. Um, I wish them well. Keep practicing. Keep performing. You guys will get there. You'll do great. But it was not AGT worthy.
Uh, yeah, and maybe AGT quarterfinals worthy, sure, but AGT semis or finals, I'm not feeling it. All right, next act of the night, we've got Cameron Ross. This is the country singer that came out in his 20s. Says he came out to his family as gay. His mom didn't accept it. Later, she got sick, and they have sort of bonded, and every day is a blessing. He's going to sing a Lady Gaga song, "A Million Reasons," but sings it country like. What did you think of Cameron Ross?
I these first few acts, especially the two singing acts, I think the song choice, and I think a lot of people agreed that the song choice was not good. Um, and I think a lot of it has to do with song choice. Is this one of the songs from her movie, um, Star is Born? I
I
was
don't know.
okay. Because if it was, I mean, it would definitely be a country song, which would make a little more sense. But it's just I don't know. I should have looked it up, Jay. That's why we're here. What
Million
we don't
Reasons is a
we
song
yeah
recorded by Lady
what
Gaga for her fifth studio album, Joanne.
okay
Initially released as a promotional single, it was released to radio stations November 8th, 2016.
okay
So
there you
I
go
would say
there you
no.
go okay there you go. Um, so then yeah, it wasn't a good choice. One of my comments was, what's going on with the harmony during the song? Like there was harmony, but it was like an electrified harmony, and there were no backup singers. They couldn't have gotten him some backup singers.
Yeah. Eh, so I I did not care for this performance.
Yeah,
It felt like karaoke, but bad karaoke. Like it just did not have any semblance of wow power to me. It was just a poorly done song that was countrified and just not great. Not great.
yeah. I'm going back and looking to see what he did in his auditions. Let's see here. You don't happen to have that directly in front of you, do you?
I can pull it up here.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
See, he's hard to find because he spells Cameron with a K. Cameron Ross. He sang "Red Dirt Road"
Oh, that's right. We
and
couldn't tell if
"What
he
If
was
I
Brooks.
Stay."
Okay, yeah, we couldn't tell if he was Brooks or Dunn. That's right. So I think he needed to stick with that. Some sort of. I think they call it. Um, it's. I think it's pure country. Pure country is kind of that '90s, late '80s, '90s type country. Um, with
Yeah,
these type of country singers, I think he needed to stick with that. I think going with a Lady Gaga song was just completely wrong.
yeah. Not a great song choice. But even if it weren't a great song choice and he delivered it well, I could give him a pass. But it just wasn't even delivered well. Like it just
No,
fell flat.
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe he was having trouble hearing. Maybe he couldn't, uh, you know, quite get in sync with the music or something. But oh boy, this was just not good.
yeah. What do you think of Keenan's comment that he needs a cowboy hat?
Well, um, sure, it can't hurt. We'll go over judges' comments. Sophia
Okay.
said, "I love you. I did love your first performance more." Keenan said, "You looked comfortable and happy on stage. Overall, pretty okay." Howie said, "Song choice wasn't my favorite, but you are a pillar of acceptance." And Heidi said, "I love what you did before. This wasn't my favorite rendition of this song." And then I wrote "Goodbye, Cameron" as my as, as my note here.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a world where this is going to be a top five act of the night.
No, I wanted him to be good too. I really enjoyed his audition performance, and I had high hopes for him. Um, you know, but it's not meant to be this time.
Not this time. And we've seen much better from him.
Yeah,
He has some really strong ability in him that just wasn't there tonight. So,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
And I think I took him for my team
yep.
because of his because of the country songs he's going to sing. As much as I love country songs, country singers, I had high hopes that he was gonna do more with that, and it just didn't happen.
Didn't happen on this one. All right, we ready to talk about another group that you've got on yours that I'm kind of jealous of?
Yes, let's bad salsa.
Bad, bad salsa. They could be called, whatever, singing chickens, and you'd be like, they're not singing or chickens, but that doesn't matter because what they do is amazing. Uh,
Yes, I will. I will agree. Yes, I will
okay,
agree that what they
you
do is amazing.
you should be thrilled to have this group on your draft board here. Bad
Uh, I,
salsa.
I will be because they're going to get me a lot of points in about 5 weeks.
They're going to get you some points. Okay,
Yeah,
so flips, spins, cartwheels, drops, the same thing that they do. They do it so good. It looks so dangerous. The notable move that I wrote down, with his help, he lifted her up, or like she jumped up and he lifted her up, so she was standing on his shoulders. But it's like her toes were on his shoulders and her heels were on his hands, so she was kind of facing opposite him. And he throws her up, and she like goes into like a back dive with her legs spread, and he catches her around the waist before her head crashes into the stage. It was very dangerous looking, very cool. The one complaint that I had about this actor, the one nitpicky thing that I can say is like she looked like she was focusing and trying very hard and not smiling like singers are coached, or dancers are coached to do. But I mean, that's very nitpicky, and there's no way that I could smile and try and control my face when I'm doing death-defying stunts either. So,
yeah.
uh,
Would you deduct points away from her for not smiling?
like a fraction of a point, maybe.
Yeah, and they were doing this from India on the TVs. They had them on the big screen.
Yep, yep. It was fantastic. I was just awed by it. Um, this is the question that I wrote down, and I can't think of all the dance duos we've ever seen, but is this the best dance duo we've ever seen on AGT?
That we've ever seen. Ooh, there's. I wish I could dig deep back. Well, we're gonna talk about Jabberwockies in a little while, but dance duo.
I did say
Uh,
dance duo.
you did say dance duo. You're right. Boy, there's a lot of dance duos we've had, and I'd have to
There
dig
are.
deep back in my brain to find them all. That might be a good question. Um, I don't know. I mean, they're definitely if I just kind of had to pick at it, I'm gonna say they're top three dance duo. I'm not gonna go so far as to say they're the best yet because I'd have to go back and look at all the dance duos that are out there. But I'm gonna go at saying that they're at least top three.
Can we say among the very best?
I will say that yes, they are among the very best. If you did a dance duos got talent and brought them champions and you got them all out there, I think these guys would be able to hold their own.
Yes, absolutely. They're very good. They're very dangerous. They are very fast. They're very in sync. They're very strong. Uh, they do everything so good. Uh, Heidi said, "You guys are so good. I want I want to say you are the best we've ever had. Are you a dance act or a danger act? Maybe it should be bad a salsa." She didn't. I think she. Did she censor herself? I'm trying to remember.
No, I think she said.
Okay,
I think
all
she
right.
said it. Yeah.
Well,
And
we're a family friendly podcast,
yes,
so
yes.
you can fill in that 3-letter A word. Okay, Keenan said, "My mind is blown. You really blew the roof off this place." Sophia said, "Spectacular. It looks amazing. All you've overcome to be here, that prepared. It's beautiful." Howie said, "You schooled us. That's precision in dance, not the shape. You showed us danger, and this has to be one of the best of the night." So I'm feeling like these guys are going through. No doubt about it.
Yes, I had a high percentage that they were going to go through.
Okay. All right. Next act of the night, one off my draft board. We've got Vincent Marcus. He is our impressionist rapper, and in his very first video package, they showed us like a Peter Griffin impersonation, and he did like some other voices. But this time he did rappers doing nursery rhymes. Have you ever seen an impressionist do nursery rhymes? Rappers doing nursery rhymes?
Only in this guy's audition.
Only this guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you wish that he would have done something else?
No, I love that he does nursery rhymes. I love that it's uh, yes, that it's nursery rhymes, it's children's songs, it's all this stuff that they don't have to pay royalties for. I'm absolutely loving it, and I'm not actually kidding. I'm not kidding about that.
Oh,
Yeah,
uh, man, I was really hoping he was going to show me something different. I was like, okay, he's he proved that he's got some comedic ability. The nursery rhymes. It's a nice twist on it. Like, let's see what else he can do. And then he did the same thing. It was impressions of rappers doing nursery rhymes again, and I was just like, oh man, that's too bad. Um, yeah, I will say, like this video package, it took me a second, but he was like preparing for his act or whatever on his computer, and he got a call from Snoop Dogg, and it was him doing the voice of Snoop Dogg and talking to himself. And then Pitbull called him, and then it was Eminem coming in, and so like he was doing these impressions and having this conversation with himself in his video package. I thought that was kind of fun.
it was, and he looked a little bit like Pitbull. The other two, he didn't look like them at all, but he looked kind of like Pitbull. Yeah, it was a lot of fun having him interact with himself.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I don't have much else to say about this. I'm not feeling good about it. You were much higher on it than me, though, huh?
I wasn't that high on it. I mean, I enjoy that he does it, but I didn't think he did it very well this time. Um, you know, a lot of people were commenting that the Eminem one is his best one, and that's the one he needs to stick. That's the one he needs to do. That's his best impression, and I'll agree. I think it is. The other ones, um, I didn't think were very good. I think I've commented before that an impression you've done an impression well when you don't have to tell us who it is you're
Yes.
doing. And I know I'm kind of jumping ahead, but it ties in that Howie actually said, hey, I need to know who you're doing. I didn't enjoy it because I didn't know who you were doing, but will go back with that well, then it must not have been very good, because if it's good, he doesn't need to tell you I'm Eminem or I'm Pitbull or I'm Snoop Dogg.
Mm-hmm.
That it'll just
Mm-hmm.
it'll just come out, and you'll figure it out based on the voices that he's doing. So I love the nursery rhymes. I love that he's doing these impressionists. I don't think he did it very well this time.
Yeah, I didn't think that he nailed this one. Terry Crews threw it to Master of Impressions, Keenan Thompson. And Keenan said, I think Eminem is your strongest one. I like that they use it, but it's not overdone. Your Snoop is dope. Your 50 is great. I think you stepped it up from your audition. Um, so that was a lot of words from Keenan. Heidi said, you have the rhythm and the groove, but the voices, I like Snoop and Eminem. Sophia said, I loved it. I liked it. This performance was better than the first one. Howie said, I think the first one was better for me because without you telling me who you're doing, I was a little lost. So um, I was less impressed with this one. I was really hoping to see something different, maybe a little bit more comedy instead of um, this juxtaposition of rappers and nursery rhymes.
Yeah, yeah.
So all right,
Uh,
let's
real,
go
real,
ahead.
real quick before we get to the next one. So, you were asking about dance duos.
Yes.
So let me ask: do you want Bad Salsa or do you want Quinn and Misha?
um I'm gonna stick with bad salsa.
Okay. Do you want Bad Salsa or Nico and Patty?
Oh, old Patty and Nico. I'm gonna stick with bad salsa. They're far superior.
Okay. Okay. I'm still searching, Jay. We're gonna figure this out. So far we've got three
Okay.
that I have found. So
All
maybe
right.
throughout the podcast I'll keep coming back to dance duos.
Okay. We'll see what you come up with. All
Okay.
right. Let's jump into the middle act of the night. We've got Alexis Brownlee and the Puppy Pals. This is one that I took off the board kind of late in the draft, so you didn't have to. Um,
Appreciate that.
this is what is she, 9, 10-year-old Alexis Brownlee. She has a dog act. She has trained, or at least somebody has trained, and she is able to get these dogs to do tricks. A lot of classic things that we've seen. Big dog jumping over the flag, little dog jumps across the stage on his back feet. She jump ropes with another little dog. Uh, Dog is climbing a ladder, like two ladders that are vertical, parallel to one another, with front feet on one side and back feet on the other side. Dogs, climbing up an A-frame, sliding down a slide on the other side. Um, Last big trick was a dog climbed up to the top of a platform and jumped down into her arms. Um, it was all the stuff that we've seen before with all the other dog acts, maybe even a pig act here and there. Uh, it was sweet, but I'm, I'm not feeling like this is a winning act. It could be a top half of the night. I could see her in the semis, but I'm not feeling great about it.
No, and I agree. If you compare a lot of the dog acts that we've seen over the years, Sarah and Hero, and my nemesis Olate dogs, and what's the one we had last year? I don't. Well, anyway, if you compare all the dog acts, this was not. She's as cute as a button. She's trying very hard. Uh, she Jay, I'm just gonna say it. She's not good for her age. Uh, I know they've tried hard. She loves the dogs. The dogs love her. They look like they have a lot of fun doing it, but it was not a very good performance this week. It was it enjoyable to watch. It was cute to watch, but I didn't feel like it was enough to kind of move on to the next round.
Yeah, I tend to agree. She's a dark horse for a top half. Let's see what the rest of the acts give us. We might see some other face plants, but Heidi said that was so sweet. I think I got a cavity from it. Sophia said you're amazing and inspiring. You can do this so professional, but you make it look so easy and fun. Keenan said, I think you are so precious and adorable. You look like you're having so much fun up there. Howie said, you remind me of Dakota Fanning and Drew Barrymore. This is much better than pigs. So, not like great praise from the judges. You're sweet, amazing, cute, but
Yeah,
it, that's not really commenting on the skills that she had, more on her cuteness, adorableness, which, really is kind of off the charts. So,
yeah, it is. I
okay.
I wish well on her and the puppy pals. Keep practicing. Keep
Absolutely.
going. Keep going. Keep
You
going.
take this to your school talent competition, you're going to wipe the floor with them.
Yeah, yes, yes, you will.
Uh, all right. Next act of the night, one off of your draft board, we've got Bonavega. Um, his
I
video
think
package. Go
I
ahead.
think that I'm just going to say I think this was the one act I was looking the most forward to all night long.
Okay.
Okay, just going to
Um,
put that out there.
we'll find out if he lived up to your expectations here
Yes.
momentarily.
Okay.
So his video package, he says he grew up feeling like there was two sides to him. There's Brandon, who is boring, probably wears cardigans and sweater vests, and um, is just not an exciting person. And then there's Bonavega, who's crazy, and he's all these things that he was taught to hate and fear since he was a child, but now he feels like he can fully face Bonavega now, and he's letting Bonavega take the lead. So he comes out. He's like very like 80s style purple and pink set. Uh, I couldn't tell if he was lip syncing or if my audio was just a little off from my picture, because sometimes my TV does that. Um, but he sang Blinding Lights by The Weekend. He's got like a neon yellow mullet, possibly a wig on. He's going to strip down from like his 80s nylon tracksuit to some like fishnet spandex outfit. He's going to play a little bit of a guitar solo. It was a very loud and proud, big, shiny, fantastic performance. I, uh, it, I it did not blow me away. It was good, maybe even better than good, not great. What'd you think?
uh, First off, how dare you think that he's wearing a wig?
Okay,
That's
that was his
obviously
real
his
hair.
actual. I don't know. I don't know if that was real hair. It could have been. I don't know. Yes. So he sang a song from the weekend. I'm not familiar with the song. I agree with you that it looked like he was lip syncing. And at first I was thinking he was lip syncing. Then I was thinking, no, there may be, a delay with my Bluetooth headphones, and the way I'm watching. Sometimes that happens.
Okay.
Sometimes they're not in sync, and I was thinking, well, maybe that's the case. But um, because when he played his guitar, his guitar was in sync with the sound, but his vocals was not, which I thought was
Hmm.
very, very interesting.
Curious.
Um, but he uses the stage. He's very exciting. He's very flashy. I think I tweeted out that he is the rock version of Prince Poppycock.
Very much so. Yes.
Yes, yes. Um, and it was also at this point, I believe, that the production was it. Yeah, production is using that stage.
Oh man, they are. Yes.
Yes, yes. They I don't know how many Star Trek The Next Generation fans we have out there, but I'm going to go sci-fi for just a moment and say that the stage in this studio looks like a holodeck from Star Trek.
Okay.
Does that mean anything to you, Jay?
No, it does not. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Okay. So I'm going to kind of talk about my geekhood here for a moment. So when Star Trek The Next Generation came out in 1987, of course,
Okay.
it was the follow up to Star Trek, the original series with Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock. They introduced this technology called holodecks. So basically, it's a giant room that is fills the entire room with holograms, and you can interact with the holograms. There's an AI behind it, but you can touch everything. It looks like it's like an actual space. Could be outdoors, could be the 1920s, could be whatever.
Okay.
And so when they did this, the way that they projected everything in this room, it looked like it had that feel to it because the entire stage was wrapped around him, and it looked like he was actually I didn't write down what it was that he was in, but it looked like he was in this uh imaginative fictional holographic room.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of had a like the um, point of or like all the lines in the back sort of met at this point in the far
Yep.
horizon.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. And it wasn't just for him. I mean, there's going to be some other acts later on where production has done this. Um, but outside of that's kind of outside the Bonavega act. I enjoyed the Bonavega act in the sense that I really enjoy him. I think he's exciting, he's flashy, it's original. He can rock. I mean, he's a good guitarist and rocker. I wasn't familiar with the song, so it's kind of hard for me to get into it.
Yep.
Um, but I enjoyed everything else. And then on top of that, I know he didn't have anything to do with it, but the way that production then put him in this, I'm going to say, quote holographic room, um, but the way that just the way that the room projected everything, it's the floor, it's the walls, and everything really kind of made this a more immersive performance. And I'm not sure they would be able to do this with the audience there. I think this is something that they could only do in this type of room where there's no audience.
Yeah, that's very, very possible. They've done things with the stages in the past, but this feels on a different level. I agree with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, this felt more immersive than last week. I know we saw some things last week where, um, oh, what's her name? Now we just did a poll on her, but anyway, where she's like
Roberta.
Roberta, thank you, Roberta Battaglia, where she's standing on an island and there's kind of this, water behind her. Um, so they've done some things, but this week it took it to a new level, and we're going to see another one later on that takes it to another level as well.
Hmm. Hmm. Judges, Heidi said, I think it's so cool. You remind me of Van Halen. You're like a rock god. I think you should have started wearing what you have on and then gotten rid of more. Sophia said, it was entertaining to watch you. You have an amazing presence and an amazing energy, but I prefer the sequin outfit from last time. Keenan said, I give you credit for walking the line of crazy. You're so bold and confident. It's infectious. I don't know if I would have chosen The Weekend. It's a hard song to sing. And Howie said, I personally love you. I don't know if you're a rock star, a singer, a comedian. You're confusing. The king of confusion. So not bad praise from the judges. Nobody, pulled out the Prince Poppy Rock joke at all, which
Aha, very good.
they were just saving it for me. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, no, he's good. I can definitely see him in the top half going through. I could imagine a world where he doesn't.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun to see him in the next round.
Yep, yep. All right, next act of the night, one off of my draft board, one that I'm excited about. We've got the Spyros Bros. They're brothers and best friends, and they do a Diabolo performance, and they seem like they are very in sync with each other, especially when they're performing. Their performance takes place uh, on a Simpsons themed set, which really caught my attention.
Are you a Simpsons fan?
I am. I am.
Good,
I enjoy
good,
The Simpsons.
good.
Just this week, one night I pulled up a few Simpsons episodes from my high school years on Disney Plus, and it's like, oh man, I really do like this show. It's been a while
Yes,
since I tuned in,
yes.
but
Yep.
it just, yeah, good stuff. Um, notable tricks. One of them bounced the Diabolo off of a like target that was on the wall, and it into the other one who caught it. They threw the Diabolo to the brother, so that he had two of them that he had to keep going on one string. I was really hoping to see a third. They never went quite that far with it. Did another number of tricks like up close to the judges where it looked like the judges were about to get a Diabolo to the face. And wouldn't you believe it, Keenan, he missed this performance. He had to run out to his car to get a thing, and while he was out there, they did this whole thing, and he didn't have a chance to see it. uh, what do you think of the Spyros Bros?
These guys going into the night are one of the favorites. Definitely one of the top acts that people are really excited about. Yes, they're very good. They're very exciting. They did it outside in Krusty Land, which I really liked. It freed them from the limitations of the stage, and which
Yes.
is really interesting because the song that they kind of performed to was No Limits.
Hmm.
So that was a lot of fun, and they kind of had just this whole area they can work in. But then they choose to do their tricks around the judges, and shoot their Diablos between the judges. I found it interesting that the first time they performed to three judges. This time they performed to three judges.
Again with three
So
judges.
yes, so they cannot for some reason perform to all four judges. I don't know why.
It's maybe they're the curse. They're the problem here. Like
They
they
might be.
they show up and somebody has to go home sick.
Yeah.
No, these guys, their enthusiasm for being on the show, for doing what they're doing, is just second to none. Like they are just thrilled to be there, and it just exudes from them, and I love it. It's really infectious.
Yes, and they do some LED lights on their Diablos and on their shoes, and so they really light up the place. They do a lot of fun stuff. They're very exciting. Um, I hope to see a lot more of them.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too.
Yeah.
Keenan, he was not there for the live performance, for the pre-recorded performance, but he did say that was amazing. I can see how honed in you are when you're working on this. Maybe a little less choreography and a little bit more work with the tools. Sophia said, your joy and enthusiasm is special. I love your act. Heidi said, I love that you use the whole space, but not the space right in front of me. And Howie said, you are precision, and I think you are one of the five acts that should go on. So I similarly appreciate their enthusiasm, and there is something about like their amateurism. Keenan mentioned their choreography. Like they're not really great choreography. Their dance is not great. They're not particularly flexible or whatever, but like the amateur nature of what they do is just it makes my heart smile just that much more.
No, and it's okay they're not dancers. That's perfectly fine. That's not what their craft is. Their craft is to sling a diabolo between judges,
Yep.
which is what I want to see more of. So you're right. The dancing is kind of just it's a second tier part of their act, which is perfectly fine. It
Yep.
doesn't impact it at all.
All right. Well, let's get to the ninth act of the night. One off of your board again. We've got Danelia Tulashova. She's a 14-year-old from, is it Kazakhstan?
I believe so. Yes.
And she has been in quarantine since her audition. She's going to sing Sign of the Times, Harry Styles. I am not nearly as taken with her as you or AGT commenter. Um, she hits every note. She has great dynamics. She has some really good range. But overall, I'm just kind of bored by the end of the song. What did you think of Danelia on Tuesday night?
So I think you're giving me too much credit. I'm not as high on her as our good friend AGT commenter is. He's very high on her, and I only drafted her because of how high he is on her, and I want lots of points. He and I have kind of been chatting about the acts past couple of days, and um, he asked me about her, and I said I pick my fantasy teams with my head and not my heart.
Mm.
I pick the people that's going to give me the most points, and not necessarily if I like them or not. Um, but I will say I like her, but I think I'm in between you two guys. Yes, she is very talented. She's also cute as a button. She's very mature for her age. Uh, but I think people are giving her a little bit too much. I may not be giving her enough credit. There may be some giving her too much. I may not be giving her enough. I think she's if you're rating her on like a 1 to a 10, there's some out there that's giving her tens or elevens. I'm probably giving her like a 6, somewhere in there, maybe a little bit more, maybe a 6.5, something along in those lines. Um, I think we're gonna have some good child singers, and I think once she goes up against some of the other more mature singers, then it may kind of even out some.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see her, juxtaposed against those, you know, professional singers, for lack of a better word. These adults that have really honed their craft. Um, she's good. Um, it's hard for me to take any child singer and say like, yeah, that's definitely something I want to see win the show.
Yeah,
Um, so, but that's Danelia. She's, like you said, cute as a button.
yeah.
Howie said, "You are so beyond your years, in so much control. I hope and think you have a future on this show." Heidi said, "So much maturity and grace at just 14 years old. You really brought your A game today." Sophia said, "This night is owned by the kids. This was my favorite performance of the night." Keenan said, "I was blown away. That giant voice coming out of you, such depth to your soul." So pretty high praise from the judges. They did all four give her a standing ovation. Um, I'm I'm pleased with this. I'm expecting her to go through based on what I know. Um, you said you draft based on your head, not on your heart. I feel like maybe I went into this with a little bit too much heart and not head
Yeah,
off of our draft board.
yeah. If we kind of looked at just singers, just straight up singers, and not your Bonavegas or any of those types, we just looked like your Danilias and your Christina Reyes and Roberta and
Kelvin Dukes tonight.
Kelvin Dukes tonight, Shakira, Archie Williams. I think I would probably choose, personally, I would choose more of like a Shakira. I just enjoy that type of act. America may not. It's when it comes out in the end, she's probably not going to be there. But that's just the type of act I enjoy. I enjoy someone that's going to entertain me a little bit more. I respect. I think the singing talent. I enjoy someone that's got great singing talent. But as far as, if I wanted to go to Las Vegas, if I want to go to a concert, I want to see someone that's going to entertain me more. But that's just my own personal preference.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, She's good. She whether she goes through the next round, wins the show, or doesn't, and this is the end of her AGT. Like she is, she still has a great singing career ahead of her. So
Yeah.
she's got the world ahead of her. So um, a fine act. I expect her to go through based more on what I'm hearing other people say and less on what I feel about it. But she's a fine singer.
Yeah.
All right, 10th act of the night. We're closing in on it. We've got Jonathan Goodwin. He's our daredevil. He came off of my draft board. He's going to do a trick called, or a performance. I don't know what it's called.
It's not a
A
trick.
stunt. A
Yeah,
stunt
there you go. There's stunt. Yes.
called Trial by Fire. Never done it before. Could be fatal, he tells
How, how
us.
how many times do we see these guys where they say we've never done this, or whenever I've done this, it's always gone wrong? Something along those lines.
I think that's what they have to say. It's part of
Okay.
their script.
Okay.
The setup, there's this spiral of gunpowder that leads to the center of the circle where he is, and then he is going to have to unlock his hands from his police issued handcuffs, and he's going to have to unlock the padlock around his that's keeping his head in place so that he can escape this contraption before he's burned alive. And when he's able to grab the silver bar above his head, he'll be safe. So that's the explanation we got. It left a lot of things unknown, like what in the world are you talking about? But um, but that's it. So he um, they start the fuse burning, and it gets to him, and all of a sudden he catches on fire, and I'm thinking, like, is this what's supposed to be happening? I don't know. He catches on fire, he gets his first hand out, he's still engulfed in flames, he gets his second hand out. A few moments later, he unlocks the one that keeps his head trapped. He reaches up, he grabs the handles, and this whoosh of like fire extinguisher you know blows up from around him, from the platform around him, and extinguishes the flames. Um, I didn't understand that he was supposed to be on fire. I didn't understand what the handle was going to do once he reached it. Um, but gosh darn it, it looked pretty good. It looked pretty good.
Yeah.
What did you think of Jonathan Goodwin?
So he really needs to work on his stage presence.
Yes.
I was really getting bored after a while from him having to explain something. He needs to go to the Brett Loudermilk School of Explaining Your Tricks because he's not very good at it.
Yes. Yeah. If Brett Loudermilk were doing these stunts instead of Jonathan Goodwin, like, oh my gosh, what a party we're having.
Yes, yes. And then when he finally gets to the act, we didn't understand it. We knew there was going to be fire, and you know me, Jay. Anytime you
You
introduce
love
fire,
Cody
I,
loves him some fire.
I love me some fire. So
Secret pyromaniac over there in
so
town.
that's always positive points for me. But in this instance, it was like, so what is it we're doing here? I really didn't even understand. And then, yes, he's on fire. He's kind of fiddling with the handcuffs, and even from the beginning, he's kind of just like tapping the handcuffs. It's like I didn't know what was going on. And then he catches on fire, and he's just sitting there burning. Um, I did not. I respected the danger, and my wife was even commenting on this as well. And we've talked that it's the illusion of danger, but not actually being in danger. But she actually thought he was in danger.
Yes, which
Okay,
means that he did a great job of giving you the illusion of danger.
that's what I kept trying to tell her. Yes,
He did say that it could be fatal, but
yes,
like I think he was really a long ways away from death.
yes, yes. I didn't know what the trick was, or the stunt, or the performance, or whatever it is he was doing. I I didn't understand it. I knew that there was fire, which I enjoy, but I didn't understand the danger. I didn't understand what he was doing trying to get out. I didn't understand a whole lot of it. And then his long, long, long explanation to Heidi, who was standing next to him, but then didn't like the Spyros Bros standing next to her. So I was confused by that. Um, so there was just a whole lot of that going on. I lost interest in this performance.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Okay.
Yep.
Judge's comments. Keenan said, "I had to run out to my car real quick, and you guys keep." No, clearly this was pre-recorded.
Yes.
So Keenan got to see the video recording that we did. He said, "You're insane. That was crazy. I thought you were going to get out of the way of the fire." Heidi said, "You are fully insane," and I kind of loved it. It was a slow burn. Sophia said, "I am so grateful. I am not your mother. I love your presence and I love the surprise." Howie said, "Well done. I thought you were in trouble and I admire what you did." So judges were similarly uh, concerned about his actual safety. Um, it was could you call it a flashy performance? It was it was a good performance. I could see him kind of on the bubble here going into the just one more act of the night as one that is probably in that Duncan save spot.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Okay, last act of the night, Voices of Our City Choir. This is one that you took pretty early, I think, on. Uh, no,
Uh,
maybe it wasn't quite so early actually. On the draft board.
I took them fourth on my.
Fourth. Okay, so you did
Yeah.
take them pretty early. I was after their first performance. I was like, I don't know that I want to touch these guys with a 10-foot pole. Like the first performance felt um, spotty. They didn't sound like they had a lot of harmonies. They didn't sound like they had a lot of just a lot of winner potential. I guess
Yeah.
is
This
the word.
this may juxtapose things, or I don't even know. I just made up. I know that's a real word. I just kind of spouted that out. This may be in opposition of what I'm actually getting ready to say, but again, I went with my head because of their story.
Well, I think this is the biggest improvement we've seen between a audition performance and a quarterfinal performance.
Yeah.
They were really, really good. Just the four of them on stage and then the choir backing them up in the video, it looked like. They sang Stand By Me, Benny King. Steph, their director, she starts just a very simple backing track, just like piano, single like chords. It was nothing, no flourish to it at all. The second soloist was this older lady who just really had a lot of emotion in her voice. Chorus joined them on the chorus. Second verse, this gentleman that was in the video package, he's going to not sing, but he's going to speak his lines, which just gives it that extra sense of able to connect with it, I guess. And then there was a younger man who really just nailed his notes. Like he was kind of wearing a real um, close cut suit, a modern suit. Looked the four of them, the four soloists looked great. This last guy, this younger man, he like flipped into some falsetto on the chorus as well. Just really highlighted the best of the Voices of Our City Choir. Also, the stage looked fantastic. It was like I don't know, a round pyramid that like fell away beneath them. It was kind of what it looked like. Like I said, I think this was the most improved group from auditions to now.
Yes, I would agree, and they've had some time to work on it because they didn't have to do judge cuts since this is Terry Cruz's golden buzzer.
Yep. From the
So
very first week of auditions, he was their golden
yes,
buzzer.
from the very beginning. Which in previous seasons usually we've seen the host do the very last golden buzzer, and this season Terry did the very first, and it's probably because of everything that's gone on. But anyway, uh, so they've had a lot of time to practice and to really hone this craft and they had to adjust because they had to go to this the other singers had to do it in the video, so they had to kind of adjust that, and they weren't all able to be there on the stage. So it was a very and then they sing a song that we all know, "Stand by Me." Um,
Yes.
so that was very very helpful, and I think that it's kind of it kind of reverberates their story a little bit, which we don't like to really advertise that much on because we don't really like to do stories on
Right.
here.
Yeah.
Um, but they are voices of our city choir, so it's all of them from the was it San Diego? Um,
Bay Area.
Oh, it was the Bay
Yeah.
Area, other direction. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so it kind of helps with that to know their story, and then they sing these songs that kind of represent that a little bit.
I was wrong. San Diego. You're right.
Oh, okay, okay. There is another group that is from the Bay Area.
Yes, that's right. I
Okay,
don't remember who.
okay,
Maybe Resound. I don't know. Yeah, Keenan said that was incredible. I don't know if you get a kick out of making people cry. We're so moved by what you do. Heidi said that was a special moment. Sophia said, I love what you've done with the choir. I have chills every time you sing. Howie said, we are all in this together and everyone needs to stand by you. So that is the 11 acts of the night. We have to wait 24 hours for them to give us the results. So that gave me plenty of time to rank my, top half, bottom half, or my like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Um, uh, and I don't know if it was just because I did it right after and they were the most recent, but I ranked Voices of Our City as the most likely to go through. But they were my number one act of the night.
okay. I had them at number three.
Okay. My number two is Spyro's Brothers.
Okay, I had them at number four.
Okay. My number three was Bad Salsa.
Had them at number two.
Okay. Number four, I had our Daredevil, Jonathan Goodwin.
I had him at six.
Ooh, okay. Number five, I've got Danelia.
Number one.
Okay. And then number six, I had Kelvin Dukes.
Number five.
Okay. All right. So give me your just 1 through 6. Run them down that way.
So Danelia, Bad Salsa, the Choir, Spyro's Bros, Kelvin Dukes, Jonathan Goodwin.
Okay. And then it sounds like we're kind of in agreement on the bottom half. Uh, I ordered mine Bonavega, Alexis Brownlee, The Shape, Vincent Marcus, Cameron Ross.
Yeah, I mean we're all the same. Yeah, just different order. Vincent Marcus, Bonavega, Puppy Pals, Cameron Ross, The Shape.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, once you get past the yeah top six, it's kind of moot as to exactly what it is. But um, yeah, I guess let's get to Wednesday night's results show.
Let me ask you this, Jay. Do you get a chance to vote?
I did, yes. I have the app on my phone and I pulled it up.
Okay. Do you vote during while you're watching, or do you wait till it's all done?
Oh, so during the episode, I wait until it's all done, and then what I do is I take like the top three or four, like the ones that I like the very, very most, and I give them 10 votes, and I give zero to the rest.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I this was the first time I've voted. I think it's been a long time since I've had a chance to vote because normally in the previous seasons I would watch on Hulu the next day.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually got to vote, and I think I gave Bonavega 10 votes.
Well,
I really enjoyed that, and then I think I gave a couple of others 6 or 7 votes.
yeah. What I really ought to do is just take the ones that I drafted and give them 10 votes and leave the
That's
rest with zero.
there you
That's
go. That's yes.
but, the little bit that it might affect like I don't think that I am going to change the outcome of anything by doing that. So
Yes, yes.
might as well just vote for what I like for. Okay. All right. Are we ready for results?
Yes, and I'm gonna depend on you to give the results because I did not write a thing down.
Okay, I've got it. First
Okay.
result. We're gonna have, well, I guess our Duncan save acts. The 4, 5, and 6. We've got Alexis Brownlee and her puppy pals, Spyro's brothers, and Jonathan Goodwin. Did you then take the opportunity to click on a Duncan save last night?
Yes, so I participated in my first, I think, ever Duncan save.
Oh man!
Yes, I think it's my first ever Duncan save.
And how
Uh,
was it?
it was very enjoyable. It was very satisfying
Okay.
because the act that I voted for, I thought. did not deserve to be in the dunk and save and should have been voted through on America's votes. So they actually should have done. They should have been ranked higher than where America voted for them.
So is that Spyro's Bros?
That was Spyro's Bros. Yes. So
Okay.
I voted for Spyro's Bros. Uh, and I was very happy to do that because I think they absolutely deserved to be to move on.
All right, fair enough.
So,
Okay, so first result then. We got one act that's going to go through to the semifinals. Please step forward. We've got Bonavega, Voices of Our City Choir, and Cameron Ross. I'm thinking Cameron Ross is not going to be going through.
yes.
Bonavega's got a real outside chance, but it's going to be Voices of Our City Choir, and it is Voices of Our City Choir.
Yes. I was pretty sure it was going to be Voices of Our City Choir. I agree. Cameron Ross had no chance. Bonavega pretty much had a slim chance, but there was a chance, but it was more likely the choir.
Yeah, it would have been a real upset.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would have been a big upset, I think.
We're going to see the Jabberwockies perform. Thanks to the video production, they looked amazing. But we also, they're just better than the Shape anyhow.
Yes. So while I was live tweeting the results, and I'm not going to call this person out because they've supported us on AGT time. So, and uh, they did not know who Jabberwockies was.
Oh no!
I know. So we had a wonderful opportunity to at the very least share the Jabberwockies Wikipedia page and just say, hey, this is one of the best dance acts that's ever been on AGT from season 2. So you have to go way back. I should have known. I should have looked. I don't know if they're no, they weren't the winners because
No, they weren't.
that was
That was
Terry
the
Fader.
ventriloquist Terry Fader, not Terry
Yes,
Crews.
that's the great Terry Fader. Yes. Uh, but yes, they're one of the greatest dancing acts. They put the Shape to shame. So I'd hate to say it, Shape, but you got to change your name to the Shame when you're on the show with the Jabberwockies.
And that's kind of a funny thing. Like they bring these, former AGT acts or these professional acts to perform alongside these AGT acts, and like it does kind of expose
Yes.
the acts for being
Yes.
not necessarily very good.
Now I think that maybe, like you said, with production help, I think there was some camera trickery
Oh, no doubt.
um,
Yes.
going on with the Jabberwocky. We all love the Jabberwockies. They're absolutely fantastic. They've been performing in Vegas forever. Uh, but I think in this particular performance, there may have been some camera trickery going on.
Yes, there very much was.
Not that it takes anything away from what these guys can do, or girls. There could be girls under there. We don't know. These performers, anything,
Yes.
it takes nothing away. Still thoroughly enjoyed watching them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Next act, we've got Vincent Marcus and Bad Salsa. I like to think of them as the dancing chickens, or the singing chickens, I think is what I said earlier. Uh, Bad Salsa is going to go through and beat out Vincent Marcus for the second spot.
Yes, and I think this was deserved. So I hate to see Vincent Marcus go. I do like him. He is enjoyable, but some people have to go home. And I think in this matchup, it's deserved.
Yep. Okay. And third result, then that leaves Danelia, The Shape, and Kelvin Dukes. And the act going through is Danelia.
Yep. One thing we haven't seen so far this season, Jay, and I'm not sure we will, is you both are going through and none of you are going through, which I really miss. I kind of like that.
Did they maybe do a little bit that in the Judge Cuts episode? I think they did.
That's a good question. I wasn't here for the Judge Cuts episode, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah. All right. They did a little bit of that. Yep.
Okay, good. Okay. I love the you're both are going through, none of you are going through. I like that. So
Yep. Okay, next we're going to have a really special performance. We've got Ivan. He is an Australian. He's going to sing Baby by Justin Bieber. Also on the stage happens to be Darcy Lynn Farmer.
yay! It's Darcy Lynn.
It's Darcy Lynn. Darcy Lynn is the best. I love everything she does. She can do no wrong. She Ivan is this kind of alien-looking, one-eyed Cyclops puppet. Got an Australian accent. Um, Super cute the whole way around. She sings, she raps, she has some really impressive like musical runs. Her musical ability on its own is always top notch.
Yes.
Um, you know, and honestly, this wasn't her best performance, but she's still the best.
Yeah,
So
and now she dances.
uh, yeah, um, yeah, Darcy Lynn's the best. I love her, and I was so happy to see her on my screen. Her technical ability. This is what I always go back to. Her technical skills are just so good. You cannot see her her mouth moving. Her neck doesn't jiggle. She just um, is fantastic. I love
Yeah.
her, and you can't take that away from me.
And I
And
wouldn't and I would not even try, Jay.
all right, she has a YouTube series, The Spin by Darcy Lynn, that's going to be coming out.
Yeah, maybe we need to talk about that and recap that when it comes out.
Yeah, let's maybe slate that for some off-season podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, all right, we are ready to save a Duncan save act. The three acts again: Alexis Brownlee, Jonathan Goodwin, Spyro's Bros. Thanks to you and I voting for the Spyro's Bros, they are Duncan saved.
Yeah, and I have a feeling this wasn't even close.
I'm afraid that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I have nothing, absolutely nothing to base it on except for, um, the live tweeters that were out there. But I just have a feeling this wasn't even close.
Yeah. Okay, so it's up to the judges then to tell us who is going to be the last spot to go through. I'm sorry, Keenan said he wanted Alexis to go through. Sophia said Jonathan. Heidi said Jonathan. Howie said Alexis. Credits are rolling. We're about to cut this thing off. There's nobody going through. A guy with a mask comes out, hands something to Terry Crews. He rips it open and says, based on America's vote, Jonathan Goodwin, goodbye. So Jonathan Goodwin, if I rushed that, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Jonathan Goodwin is the last act to make it in. I feel like that's the right vote over Alexis Brownlee.
Yeah, I think it would have been fine either way. If he does go through, I mean, since he did go through, and if since they chose for since he was chosen to go through, I think he needs to work on that stage presence and his explanation of the act. He needs to get better at
Yeah.
that. If you put the puppy pals through, they have to do some work. They really need to practice to get ready for the semifinals. So I think either one, I would have been fine with either one, and I think both of them need to really do some work to get ready for semifinals.
Jonathan Goodwin has, I think, more potential, more
Okay.
unshowed potential.
Okay.
Just simply like hiring a writer would go a long way. Like, I know that like the talking, that part of his performance is very little of what he does, but go ahead and get somebody who's a professional to like, okay, this is what you're going to do. These are the words you're going to say. Like, let's help you set this up for maximum effect. And there's no shame in that, man. Like, go ahead and hire somebody to help you do the part that you don't excel at, and then do something crazy ridiculous and set yourself on fire. And yeah, we're in pretty
Yeah.
good company here.
Yeah. Yep. So, was there anybody here that you could see going through as a wild card?
Oh, wild cards um from this particular episode.
Yeah.
Um Bonavega probably jumps out at me as the most likely wild
Okay.
card.
Okay. What about from? Did we talk about last week's?
I don't think we did. Let me pull up
Okay.
that list here. Um
Yeah, I think getting some. I'm guessing they're going to have maybe one or two wild cards in the semifinals. I'd be great if they did. I think we have some great acts. It doesn't. It's such a weird season that it doesn't feel like we've got great things, but I think we actually have great acts this season. It's just everything that's going on. It's kind of overshadowing some of these acts.
Yeah, I would say Fang E would be my most likely
Yeah.
um, wild card, which I think would mean that no, well, Bonavega, he wasn't the first man out of the Duncan save and the judges pick, so he would have been ranked even a little bit lower coming out of that night. But um, he's flashy. He's got so much more to give.
Yes. Yep. I could agree with that. I could see that.
Okay. So they revealed who's going to be on next week. We've got Alex Hooper, the Bellows. Well, let's go over him real quick. Alex Hooper, he's the insult comic. The Bellow sisters, like hand balancing trio. Brandon Leak, was he a singer? No, he's the spoken word. He's the Howie's Golden Buzzer.
Yes.
All right, everyone's favorite, the CA Wildcats. We've got the singer Selena, Divas and Drummers of Compton, Kennedy Dodds, another singer, Lightwave Theater Company with the large puppets, Noah Epps, dancer, Nolan Neal, singer, and Resound, the trio that I took kind of high in the draft. I'm hoping they come through for me.
Yes.
So looking forward. Wait, that was the final night. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I think you
Oh
have, yeah,
man.
because I remember them showing Malik Dope, and
I
you didn't announce him. So
Okay, I'm sorry, everybody. I just said who is left after next week, which would be the final week. Alex Hooper, Bellows Sisters, Brandon Lake, Cia Wildcats, Selena, Divas and Drummers of Compton, Kennedy Dodds, Lightweight Theater Company, Noah Epps, Nolan Neal, and Resound.
yeah, that's
So,
your quarterfinals four.
so next week, what we're actually going to talk about is Christina Ray, our singer, Alan Silva. He did the Silks, the aerial act. We got
Yes.
Malik Dope, our drummer, Annie Jones, our singer, Bone Breakers. This is the contortion quartet that I think is fantastic. The only thing they have going for them is sometimes people don't like to watch this kind of act.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got Dancetown Family. I'm looking forward to being introduced to them. Sheldon Riley, he's our singer that had his face covered. Max Major, who has done 2 online performances to this point. Thomas Day, our young field goal kicker, also happens to sing. Usama Siddiqui, comedian, and Waffle Crew, a dance group that it'll be fun to see them next to Bone Breakers, kind of see 2 very different takes on a very similar kind of act.
Yeah, I think next week is going to be much stronger than this week. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, there's very few of these that I'm like, ooh, I'm not sure that I can imagine them in the semis because every single one of them is notable.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. It's gonna be a tough week. We're gonna see some good stuff going home.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's where our wild cards might come in is on the next week's eliminated acts. So,
Yep. Yep.
all right, and then the final week, which I went over for you guys already. Um, should we update then what we know about our draft results?
Yeah. So go ahead.
The first week, you earned 3 points with Brett Loudermilk, Double Dragon, Roberta Battaglia. I earned 3 point. No, I earned 2 points with Archie Williams and Shakira McGrath. This week, you earned another 3 points with Bad Salsa, Danelia, and Voices of Our City Choir. I earned 2 points with Jonathan Goodwin and the Spyros Bros. So you are at a total of 6, and I'm at a total of 4 coming out
I
of this week.
I think next week we're gonna have probably a little shakeup in those in that score.
Well, it's like I look down my list and I'm like, Alan Silva, that could be a point. Annie Jones, that could be a point. Bone
Yep.
Breakers, that could be a point. Sheldon
Yep.
Riley, that could be a point. Waffle Crew, that could be a point. But then I
Fellow
look at your
sisters.
list. Christina Ray, that could be a point. Malik,
Yeah.
that could be a point. Max, that could be a point. Thomas Day, eh. Usama Siddiqui, that could be a point. So like, we've got some really, really stiff competition here
Yeah. Yeah.
coming into
It's it,
next week.
it's strong next week. Yeah. The
Coming into
quarterfinals
next
3
week.
is going to be strong.
Yep, yep. And then fourth week, I feel a little less sure about uh, about a top five, or about the strength of that group.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else that we need to talk about, Cody?
I don't believe so. I think we've about put this to bed for the night.
Okay. Well, it's always fun. You guys, you can tweet at us at AGT Time, hit our Facebook AGT Cast, or email agtcast@gmail.com. We really love interacting with you guys. Hoping to bring you guys more good, interesting content as we continue on doing what we're doing. We do have a lot of fun with this. Every little bit of encouragement that we get from our fans just makes us that much better. So we appreciate your ears and your time, and we want to make it worth all of our time. So so thank you all, and stay safe.
Have a good night.
Bye.